T minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes. T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 0.
Hello, folks. This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle coming at you live, doing kind of a more of an update on what's going on. Big story that's out. It should be the biggest story that's out there, but it's not. The scam organization known as the Southern Poverty Law Center organization, which claims to is supposed to stop so-called racism that is happening in around the world, and instead it is nothing but a scam organization that was literally paying racists, sorry folks, to start all kinds of various fights across the nation. And this is nothing new. I mean, the globalist leftists that run our nation and our world often do this. They do this with wars. I mean, just like the war in Iran, they've given gazillions of dollars to Iran, all the other pedophile death cult nations that are surrounding Israel. And then we have to fund the Iron Dome for Israel. So somehow our tax dollars are really fighting each other. But the Southern Poverty Law Center is one of these organizations that cries racism where there is none and goes after people that aren't hate groups in any way, shape, or form and slanders them. I mentioned yesterday at the Moms for Liberty groups. They were called hate groups by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Also, Family Research Council the Family Council and their Washington, D.C. headquarters was attacked by somebody not long after this hate organization called them a hate group. So this is just an article. This is by like July of 2025. They have $700 million pays its leadership and has $30 million in offshore accounts like in the Cayman Islands. Some are somewhere in Central America. This was done by Liberty Counsel. This is off the press. Poverty nonprofit holds millions in offshore accounts. Why didn't we stop this organization then? Why is it still in existence? It's still there, by the way. Their website's still up. They're acting like nothing's going to happen. So I shared a link to this article here. I wondered if somebody invaded the Cayman Islands, would it be a benefit? Making Hate Pay. This guy wrote a book called Making Hate Pay. I haven't seen it, but it gained its reputation by suing Ku Klux Klan groups in the bankruptcy and publishing a hate map that includes conservative and Christian nonprofits alongside Klan chapters. And they use this map to urge big tech and financial companies to blacklist conservatives, to advise law enforcement on hate threats, and to urge donors to contribute to its cause of fighting hate. Now we know that this is a scam. Stavers, representing the Dustin Inman Society, a nonprofit that opposes illegal immigration, a defamation lawsuit against the SPLC, which called the society an anti-immigrant hate group. That's what they do. So these cowards, they sue the Ku Klux Klan, they fight them, but then they call anybody that's Christian and conservative a racist. And they're given millions of dollars to push for this lie. What I want to talk about is I don't know how much taxpayer funds, and I don't know if anybody will be able to really find out how many taxpayer funds go to the SPLC or to organizations like them. But I just looked this up just while researching this. There are 376 Arkansas grants for Black, Indigenous people of color, whatever that is. I'm part Native American, so maybe I could get this too. So I just looked this up here, and I don't know what year this is. I'm not messing with the cookies here, but this website's currently up. This is from the grant portal. 376 available grants. And if you see there, look at the funds. According to this, there are $500 million in funds available for grants. Now, I don't know how many of these are government grants, but you get kind of the idea, but a lot of them are. And community arts, music venues, social science, all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's the race hustle is a multi-million dollar industry. That's why I put Jussie Smollett up there. We could talk about, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and how they made their fortunes, how Jesse Jackson got his son to be a member of Congress. Al Sharpton's a multimillionaire. He's got a girlfriend a third of his age now. It seems to always burn up his tax returns for some reason. But yeah, the race hustle has been a multi-million dollar industry, and we see how bad things have gotten. And they've been calling everyone else Nazi. Well, in reality, they were funding the Nazis. And I'm not just saying that. This is actually here. This is why Mario Nawfal, the SPLC, said $70,000 to the leader of the American Nazi Party. And then they list him as a hater on their own website. This guy right here, Paul Mullett. This is how the scam works. Let me see if I can blow this up. Paul Mullett is a neo-Nazi, and they call him Christian identity adherent with a long history of theft. He's been involved with the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, the Aryan Nation, and formed the American National Socialist Party in 2010. By the way, Nazi stands for National Socialists. A lot of people, a lot of the Antifa types like the oh, sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. I need to. I'm going to skip over to here. So there's all the Nazis right there, and then past them are some of the communists. So again, this is what they do. The Nazis were there, and then the communists were there, and then the folks advocating for freedom were there. If you want to search for more footage of what happened there, Arkansas BLM protests, keep Arkansas legal. This was a guy who was trying to run for United States Senate. Is Dan Whitfield. He was there at another BLM protest. Again, BLM is the real hate group, and they've actually been involved in firebombing of police cars. As a matter of fact, I researched that. But of course, SPLC never called them a hate group because they're leftists. And so it's only Christian conservatives that are hate groups. And again, I don't know how ingrained SPLC was involved with this, but this was a journalist, a far left journalist working in Arkansas, was among four suspects formally charged last week in connection with the fire bombings of police vehicles during Black Lives Matter protests during the summer. This was Renee Bayek Goddard. She was associated with a group. And I wanted to see kind of her background. It was here before. The journalist, using quotes, has worked for QAR Public Radio in Little Rock, contributed to the LGBT news outlet Autostraddle, and interned for Arkansas Public Media after attending the University of Arkansas Little Rock. So this lady was going to be our journalist. If she hadn't been caught doing this, she might have been the one in charge of one of your TV news networks. QAR Public Radio, whatever Autostraddle is, and then intern with Arkansas Public Media. And then Brittany Dawn Jeffrey, it was also involved in this. I actually have video of her at another protest. She got in all kinds of fights with the Little Rock police. There was one time where the Little Rock police had a chance to arrest her, and instead they let her go. And then this Espinoza Villegas is also, I've ran into this guy a few times before. He is a transsexual Chilean national. I think he's also illegal. But anyway, I don't know what these clowns are, if they're still in jail or if they've been released, what their status is. But yeah, they've been a problem. And they're going to be a problem. And so, folks, that's kind of the circus that we're having to deal with. And we're probably going to, some of our tax dollars are still probably going to go to these groups. As a matter of fact, that kind of segues into talking about the Arkansas House and Senate are going to convene later today at 11. They're going to discuss spending bills. One of the bills that's going to be, one of the things that's been talking about and might be amended is some of the spending regarding where your money goes in regards to the Treasury. Arkansas Arkansas State Treasurer's office recently asked for a lot of raises. And this is kind of the bill they're going to be talking about today. About $2 million, not quite $3 million, is going to be appropriated today. And this is just for various positions. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if the Senate's going to have, well, it looks like they're debating SB 1 in the House. Let me see what's going on if the Senate convenes. Okay, they're not really doing much in the Senate. But somewhere in the midst of all that, I'm sure there'll be some funding for minority organizations. Southern Poverty Law Center, by the way, is still up and active and running. Last time I checked. Matter of fact, let me check on these clowns right now. And I already looked over them yesterday of what they were doing in Arkansas. I don't know if this maybe is their latest. Here they go. A beacon of hope for 55 years. No, you're a scam. To help create a multiracial democracy. Okay, we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. And nobody needs your help to create any multiracial anything. Yeah, their website is still up and they're still filing lawsuits and stuff. But they won't talk about the $700 million they have, and I doubt you're going to find anything about their multi-million-dollar bank accounts they have over in the Cayman Islands. Let me check their press center to see if they've said anything. April 20th. No. Last thing they were whining about the SAVE Act, which they call racist because everything they don't like is racist. And they're trying to stop the efforts by ICE. And they're fighting against the SAVE Act. So, yeah, they're still active. I don't know if any of these clowns are ever going to go to jail and pay for the crimes that they've done against us. But that's kind of where we're at now. Well, folks, follow me at Just the Right Angle on Rumble, where I give updates on what's going on. YouTube account, Keep Arkansas Legal. That's where you can find a bunch of that footage of what happened to BLM. Keep AR Legal on Twitter X. Also, Keep Arkansas Legal is on MeWe, Gab, and Truth Social. If you know of anything else that's going on, let me know as soon as possible. Otherwise, I will see you all later. Remember, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice.